What's up, guys? Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast. I'm Mike Korzemba here with
Christopher London, aka LSK. What's good, everybody?
I'm not feeling too well right now.
Dude, you sound pretty down.
I'm just not happy. How are you feeling?
I mean, my feeling is expected.
Yeah.
You know, I am pretty disappointed. I'm not too beat up though, because there's only so much you can do.
Exactly.
And we'll get into that today.
Yeah. All right. So, today, guys, what we've normally been doing is, talking about some personal stuff beforehand and then jumping into the NBA topic. But, we're new to the podcast game, and in the first two podcasts, we you let the NBA stuff slip. Like, we talked for so long about other stuff. And there have been some comments saying, start the NBA stuff first. And this is the perfect opportunity to do that because let's just talk about the NBA Finals.
Oh, yeah. So, first things first, man. I think LeBron has been playing phenomenal. And I said this today on Twitter. I was like, it's crazy to think that, 33 points, I don't know how many rebounds, basically a 33-point triple-double in my opinion, it was a bad game for LeBron. And that's only because of the team he's going up against. And then it's I don't know, man. The way I was watching him play, it just didn't seem, it wasn't good. It was kind of hard to watch. The Warriors are a great team. So LeBron wasn't really able to do what he could do. But I also feel like I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for this, but I think, the officiating, it doesn't let LeBron do what he's capable of doing, so it's almost as if LeBron's kind of at a point where he's like, fuck this, I'm over it. His body language, to me, it just seems like he's over the finals, he's over this series. It's just, whatever to him. He's just doing whatever, and it's kind of hard to watch, honestly.
I think the officiating the first two games was so called into question that people were saying, is this rigged? This game, not so much. I have the box score here, I guess. I'll pull up the fouls. 20 for the Warriors, 18 for the Cavs. Nothing too crazy. I wasn't questioning the calls that much throughout the game.
Well,
much.
My point wasn't the officiating oh, this is rigged. I'm saying the way LeBron plays, man, when he drives, it he doesn't get all the calls like Durant. Durant just fucking drives and he goes to the line every time, but because LeBron is so strong and so big, it just doesn't look like he's really getting hit on every drive. But dude, it is every single drive. If it was anybody else, they'd probably go flying. And it's just it's frustrating to watch, dude.
I don't think that's really anything new for LeBron, though. I think Shaq had the same problem where it was just Shaq was so unmovable that people were hitting him, he's not moving, and he should have gotten more free throws.
But don't you think if they were calling it, they would have to play defensively differently, and that would make the game, I feel just more entertaining to watch. I don't know. It's just I guess that's a different subject.
I don't want to make too many excuses for LeBron in this game especially. I feel like I feel like the team played pretty well for considering.
But then you got Kevin Durant.
Yeah. All right. So one, we'll get into Kevin Durant. We will 100% get into Kevin Durant in a second. But two, it's not like LeBron took over the game at the end and dominated and won this game, and he had a chance to. I pulled up the play-by-play right here. All right. So 5:42 left. LeBron, bad pass. Kevin Durant, steal.
Yeah.
Then 5:03. LeBron James, missed layup. Then going down, he got fouled, made 2 free throws. And then he missed a layup, 2-12. And then he also missed that 30-foot bomb.
Yeah.
That was just
I don't know why he
near.
shot that.
Exactly. Yeah. He tried to hero ball it at the end, which of course he's going to do. He's LeBron James. And it just didn't work this time. He made that one huge 3 that cut it to 1. But, yeah.
Their defense was awful, though, bro. The Cavs' defense is just so,
they're an NBA Finals team, and the fact that like how many wide open layups they give up it's just ridiculous.
Like, dude, it's I get it, like where they're coming from, like, oh, like guard the perimeter heavy, but it's like there's certain lineups in there where it's like not necessary, and then you got guys like Iguodala just like dunking on people easily when he's hurt, like he's already he's off his step, so how is he able to just do that? And then Jordan Bell having a career night. It's like that should say something. Like, why are there no adjustments and if the guys that are making shots aren't making shots, why the fuck are they playing up so much? It's just like
that just comes down, I guess, to coaching because
exactly.
Where would you rank Ty Lue as a coach in the NBA?
In the NBA?
Yeah,
I mean, one of the worst at the bottom.
Exactly. So it's just like, where is he working after LeBron leaves?
Nowhere. I think he's one of the worst Cavalier coaches. I don't get why there's even headlines that he doesn't get enough credit for what he did. Like, so what that he talks back to LeBron, like that doesn't mean anything. Like, like, okay, cool.
Agreed.
LeBron doesn't bitch you, but like, I mean, I can see, how that's working out.
It really is ridiculous that the Warriors have Jordan Bell on their team to begin with because they just bought him from the Bulls. Just bought his rights. The Bulls drafted him and then sold him for money. So, like, is every team in the NBA trying to help the Warriors? Like, how does that even happen? And then, I mean, Iggy was massive, especially at the end. Came up huge.
Yeah. I don't think Livingston's missed a wide open mid-range jumper yet.
In his life. In his life. Sean Livingston, just that mid-range jumper, like, he just has it down. Like, he's a tall point guard. He just rises up and just makes it every single time.
Got blocked once, and that was it.
Yeah. I mean, it's rough. Before we
what about Rodney Hood though?
I was gonna say before we get into KD and all that, I mean, shout out to Rodney Hood. Shout out to he was in the media just a few days ago saying that these were the first DNPs he's ever had in his career. And I mean, the man stepped up, shot 7 for 11, 15 points. Was aggressive too.
Yeah,
like, it's not like LeBron was setting him up or anything like that. It was he was out there looking for his own shot, trying to prove himself, and did it. So,
I don't know why they didn't go. I feel like LeBron should have probably kept going to him and then kind of followed up off of him.
I mean, the end of the game, it was just LeBron put the ball in his hands and tried to create. Yeah. And it just the offense stalled. It was just that simple. Yeah. I mean, you saw in the beginning of the game way more ball movement. And they were killing it. And the Cavs were crashing the boards so strongly in the beginning of the game. And I thought they really had a chance with that.
Like, why is Curry getting rebounds? Like, I was watching the end of the game. And
Curry legit looked like an NBA My Player out there grabbing that rebound. Like, out of nowhere.
He grabbed it over LeBron at one point.
LeBron tried his hardest to get that rebound. And somehow Steph Curry's up there grabbing that. I mean...
I gotta give props to Curry. He's an underrated rebounder, I feel like, but it's just like weird. It's like
so
how?
Weird. I don't know. I really don't know how he gets that rebound, but I mean, what can you say other than that was just amazing? People hating on Curry at halftime for 2 points. I mean,
if that was LeBron,
but like when you're the Warriors, it's like it's different. It's just go to the hot hand. Whoever's killing it, keep giving them the ball. And Kevin Durant just put on like
must be nice.
Yeah, I mean, like being realistic, he just put on one of the best finals performances of the last like probably 20 years, 15 years.
Yeah.
Came up massive during the clutch. Never really slowed down. Was just doing it all game. But it's just like 43 points, 15 for 23 shooting. 6 for 9 for 3, 13 rebounds, and 7 assists. Just did everything.
Yeah, everything.
And
his greatest game. That was his greatest game of his career.
And I can't appreciate it at all.
I know. That's the sad thing about it. It's like
it's a sad truth. Yeah. So all right. So
how do you beat a team like that? I just think it all comes down to you don't.
I say we get into that like after we just talk about Kevin Durant real quick.
All right.
So or maybe not even real quick. But so when everyone all right, a player's legacy is defined by the fans that watch them at the time, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you have guys like Bill Russell and Wilt and people talking about them and hyping them up. No one was saying, like, Bill Russell sold. No one was saying Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain, that might be a whole different story, but
yeah.
No one really says things like that. Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, all of their fans are just such huge supporters of them and the NBA in general, and everyone loved those guys, and that's why their legacy hangs on so strongly. Michael Jordan, he still has one of the biggest fan bases out of, like, even current NBA players, and that's how a legacy continues. Everyone that was a fan of them at the time and watched the games being able to be like, no, like, you didn't see Jordan back then. What he did was incredible. Mm-hmm. Golden State Warrior fans love Kevin Durant. That's 1 out of 30 teams. Does anyone else like him? Like him? Not love him. Not like, I'm not even saying have a poster of Kevin Durant in your bedroom. I'm just saying, like, who loves Kevin Durant right now?
I used to love Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
A lot of people my favorite player.
A lot of people used to. And now, though, it's just, like, it really is just, what are we going to say 20 years from now when it's, what are the Warriors what's going to even happen? How many championships are they going to get to in a row? How many more are they going to win? Their core's set. They have nothing to do. Clay's like, yeah, I'll take less money. I don't care. I'm chilling. Like, they're good. And they keep getting guys. Like, they just got Jordan Bell.
And no one knew that.
Nick Young, who didn't do anything this game, but throughout the playoffs has been draining threes.
Yeah.
Got David West. They just get guys like that. Mm-hmm. And they even got one of the guys they got this year, Omri Caspi, just didn't work out, but they'll get two new guys next year, and I'm sure one of them will work out, and I'm sure one of them will be doing big things in the playoffs, because it's just the end of the day, if you're this good and if you're this loaded, a guy, aging veteran's going to be like, oh, play 16 minutes a night and go get a ring,
Why not?
Not exactly a tough sell. So
I'd do it.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, Kevin
the crazy
Durant,
thing is like, all right, so we don't really respect Kevin Durant too much, but given the circumstance of your own personal being, would you do it? If it was the option, if there was an option, would you do it?
No. You could. I would not have done it because, I've had this argument, like this has been the argument, and everyone's saying, like, oh yeah, if you were Kevin Durant, you'd do the same thing. Just as a competitor at all?
Yeah.
No. Like, you could go anywhere else, anywhere.
But okay, so.
I understand Russ. Like, I understand the situation where people are like,
I don't. But to me, all right. To me, my honest opinion, like, all right, let's just say, like, I didn't really see a reason to leave the Thunder, right?
I do,
because
Russell Westbrook.
Well, yeah, I'm saying, given, like, winning, right? Because, like, they were 1 game away from going to the finals, and who knows, they, could have won that year, right? But, like, we don't really know behind the scenes. Like, playing with, I would hate to play with Russell
We do
Westbrook.
know behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We do know Draymond was out there texting him every single night, come play with us. So that was behind the scenes, apparently.
Yeah, it's just, dude.
And Russ, Russ.
If Russ wasn't there, I would have no reason there would be no reason for KD to leave. But then it's like, all right, scratch the Thunder, right?
He wouldn't have left.
Scratch
and
the Thunder. But
okay.
where are you gonna go? Like, if the Warriors are giving you an option to make money and you're gonna win,
to the Celtics.
But could
have went to the Spurs.
Let's be real here, though.
I'm being real.
Championship, though. You think you're gonna win a championship with the Celtics over the Warriors?
You see what Danny Ainge has been doing with the roster that he even had.
Nah,
they had
dude.
all those picks. They had everything.
Maybe in like a couple of seasons.
They would have got.
But dude, you got to go up. You got to go up against LeBron. I would rather go up against LeBron in the finals than.
So what you're saying is that your motivation for leaving and joining the best team, a 73 win team. Is that you're afraid?
It's not afraid. It's just
How is it not afraid? Because you're saying you have to go up against LeBron. So you're scared. Because you don't want to go up against LeBron. And that's exactly the whole point that I'm making is that
but dude,
Kevin Durant's not a normal player in this situation.
It's not necessarily scared, though. It's like, it's just a better option.
I mean, but...
Because why would I... Like, think of the city, right? You got Boston versus Oakland. Nice, sunny California.
I mean, I agree with all that, but I'm just saying...
I think that's also what KD is taking into consideration, is the things outside of basketball.
Kevin Durant was taking into consideration 100% that he wanted to win championships.
Yeah, and that is the team to do it. There
was two things. Win championships and get away from Russell Westbrook because he was sick of it. It was obvious. Even on the court at the time, they were like, the looks he would give Russ. And the problem also was that him and Russ were not like best friends off the court. They apparently, like, they weren't even really boys. Like, you know, they were friendly. They might have considered each other friends. But apparently, like, when...
It's kind of hard to be with friends.
When KD came into the league first, and I've read some things, so that when Russ came into the NBA, apparently KD didn't really welcome him as much as you would think that another young player would try to hang out with him. And then the relationship never really became, like, two boys. So... I, like, again, completely understand leaving the Oklahoma City Thunder, especially seeing how, you know, Paul George played with Russ this year. It's just like, why would you want that?
And Melo,
exactly.
Dude.
Yeah, it's just why would you want that? But I mean, he could have went any. Actually, I mean, I say Boston and San Antonio. He could have went literally anywhere.
Could have gone to the Clippers.
He could have gone to any single team.
Clippers would have been nice with KD.
They would have made. Any team would have made room for him. So could have went with LeBron. Could have been like, hey, I want to go to Cleveland, and they would have said, okay, we'll do whatever we need to move everything. So it's just like, yeah, I get it. I mean, obviously.
So do you think he ruined the NBA? Before we get any deeper, we got to give a huge shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring our podcast. If you're not familiar with SeatGeek, SeatGeek is a ticketing app that makes buying concert tickets, NBA tickets, NFL games really, really easy. Basically, they rate ticket deals 0 to 100, 0 being bad, 100 being the best deals, and they also color coded them as well, with red being bad deals, yellow being okay, and green being great deals. Those are the deals you're looking for. And if you guys want a discount on your first purchase, make sure you use the code COAST, and also click that link down below in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening, just use our code COAST to get $20 off your first purchase. Once again, thank you, SeatGeek, for sponsoring our podcast, and let's get right back into it.
It's just, I mean, he didn't ruin the NBA, but I mean, obviously, just if you're like looking at it in terms of pure, where am I going to win the most championships? You're going to go to Golden State. But let me just make this point. If you're looking at it not just in real time, if you're looking at this in terms of where am I going to end up in the top 10 players or the top 5 players, because KD, it's not like KD thinks he's some like, all-star that's joining the roster. He thinks he's the best. I'd have to imagine he thinks he's the best player in the NBA, if not the second best.
Yeah,
and
which he is. But.
Yeah, and you'd also have to think, if you're Kevin Durant, that LeBron, when you're making that decision 2 years ago especially, you're thinking LeBron's going to slow down, and you're thinking, I'm up next, I'm the guy. But as soon as he signed that contract with the Golden State Warriors, he made it so that no one's ever going to think like he's the guy. But it was Steph's team walking in, and even when Durant drops 43 points, we're all like, congrats, dude. You know, you joined a 73 team.
It's just like, okay, cool. Like,
and
you have no pressure.
Keep in mind, like, we're reacting right now off of incredible, like, you know, career performance by Kevin Durant.
Yes.
He does it every night. He brings it every night mostly, but this is like his top right now.
Yeah.
And after the first 2 games,
Duffy.
Yeah, and after the first 2 games though, everyone was saying Steph was going to win Finals MVP.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's debatable.
I mean, they were saying it at the time, and well, yeah, now I mean, Kevin Durant's got to be the favorite. But Steph, game 2, if we were talking about this, he's coming off an NBA Finals record for threes made in a game, and we're not talking about KD as the alpha dog. We're talking about Steph. And Durant put himself in that position. Mm-hmm. Like, he willingly put himself in a position where, looking back at it, the alpha dog of that team will be unclear. If not, it's Steph. Because even when Kevin Durant plays the best on the court, it's still Steph's team. Like, he joined the Warriors, and it's Steph's team. Mm-hmm. And, yeah.
So, if let's say, hypothetically speaking, they win a chip here, Durant's got 2 chips, and then he goes back to, like, let's say, the Thunder, right? Or, another team.
I would hate that so much.
Or just any team, any other team, and just flat out, balls out. Is his legacy just completely ruined by?
No, I think I think at that point, he has the chance to completely redeem himself. Mm-hmm. If he did that, everyone would respect him and be like, okay, Kevin Durant got his rings, and now he's trying to do it by himself, or at least not by himself, but as the top guy. I just don't think that's going to happen.
So he could kind of pull like a LeBron-esque route where he wins a couple chips with, a quote-unquote,
he could.
God squad, then goes home to OKC,
or to Washington.
Dude, what if, like, what would be crazy is if, he stays with the Warriors and then Seattle gets a team.
That would be.
And then he goes to Seattle, and that would be.
That would be a Disney movie. That seems a little unrealistic.
Oh man, that'd be lit.
I mean,
but, Hey, all I'm gonna say is I just want to put it out there. Like, I respect KD's game. It's just hard to appreciate.
No, I respect his game so much. He's incredible.
Yeah,
he's unstoppable.
It's just hard to be like, oh my god, dude, did you?
That's the problem, though. That's the thing. Like, I've been something but I've been thrown out. Kevin Durant hate, but the reason for all that hate is just he's such a good player that you wish things worked out differently, and you wish that I wish at least that I could appreciate that greatness a little more, and not every single time he does something be like, all right, Kevin Durant, congrats.
Yeah.
And he also ruined the Warriors for me too, because the Warriors before the 73 win game season, when they started getting a ton of hate, were America's team basically. Like everyone loved them.
Actually, that's a good point too, because like looking back, before they acquired like Kevin Durant, like it's like, oh, you got to give props to the Warriors because like they're just that team. They drafted these guys, they put this team together, and they're just balling. Like they're like Steph's playing out of his mind. But then you add fucking KD, it's like,
obviously you can't blame the Warriors at all for making that decision. If they could sign LeBron right now, they'd do it.
I was thinking about this while I was at the game. I went to game 2, and I'm just thinking like, man, I wonder what life is like as like a genuine Warriors fan. Like you're an OG Warriors fan. Like I'm talking like Jason Richardson when they were just like bad, like Gilbert Arenas OG, like that. If you were a fan from then into now, like how exciting and like thrilled you are just being like a part of that, it's gotta be amazing, but it also has to be so obviously your team's the best, and so every night you're watching the best, but it also has to be pretty annoying because of people like us who now are just hating on them. Discredits.
But that's the thing, though. That's the situation they put themselves in. And the Warriors fans didn't do anything. You can't do anything as a fan, obviously. You just support your team, hope they make the right moves. But imagine how many people are 22 years old and grew up. They were 8 years old watching the Warriors, and now as a 22-year-old or something, they're at college, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, you like the Warriors? Like when you start liking them 3 years ago?"
Yeah.
Nobody believes you.
So what do you think? Like, I just find this kind of crazy. Like back in the day, like when the Lakers tried to do this and the commissioner
horribly.
It just failed, and like I'm just thinking, like, is the NBA going to continue to do this? Because I feel like watching the Cavs and the Warriors every other year, it's just kind of like, bro.
Yeah.
Something,
and I mean,
something needs to be like we could have sat here when we first thought of the podcast and been like, we knew who was going to be in the finals. We knew what the outcome
Charles
was going to
Barkley
be.
said it.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley said,
which
in
is
in the beginning of the season, he said, I have to sit here and pretend that this isn't going to be a Cavs Warriors finals at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And then it was a Cavs Warriors finals. So, and we all have to
That's
sit
why
here and
I
pretend.
just like the regular
Even the
season's
Rockets,
just
they
so
give us hope.
long, dude. It's
Yeah.
so long, and it's just like, I personally don't like watching regular season. There's casual like regular season games just because like one, players don't really try. I don't know.
I mean,
give
the
a
thing
shit,
they've been
but-
trying a lot harder now that social media is a thing.
True,
Because
but it's like I feel like
can't
those
get
players that
embarrassed.
are just have already established, they kind of just coast. But I mean, you kind of have to coast to survive 82
Oh yeah, of
games.
course.
But
I mean, LeBron's not playing defense,
yeah,
but
that's
then
the
he's
thing,
playing
man.
40
Like,
minutes a game.
It's I don't get excited about NBA basketball until around this time. Like NBA playoffs is so
I mean,
lit.
exactly. It's a coast, and
Yeah.
especially after the All-Star break, it's just nowhere near as fun. There's no real exciting playoff races. I mean,
Or
luckily,
is that because of
luckily-
super teams, or do you think it's just like the way
Oh, yeah,
like
no, it's definitely because of super teams, because we've just got teams like.
But don't you feel
the
like it
Warriors.
also has to do with like the team's marketing? Like I just feel like some GMs are just dumb. Like they just don't know what they're doing. And then
Well, also we're in an era right now of either all in or all out. So the beginning of the season is obviously very exciting. We get to watch all the new rookies. We get to watch all just the new players on new teams. But then once you hit the 50 game mark, we have all of the tanking teams just stop trying completely.
Yeah.
So they're just suddenly, if they're not trying, and if you're watching regular season games as a fan on League Pass or something, suddenly like 10 of the teams are just trotting out randoms just so that they can get the loss.
Yeah.
And then by that 50, 60 game mark, you have the teams like the Warriors and the Rockets who have established themselves in the standings and they're not trying to get injured.
yeah.
So, but like that's not exactly, that's just a combination of a lot of things. It's a
Yeah.
combination of Pop resting all of the Spurs and making that a real trend in the NBA, and now everyone really tries to do that. That's a combination of the super teams just taking control, and that's a combination of
And LeBron.
blatant tanking, because tanking wasn't always a thing. I mean, there were a few teams that would tank.
Well, in sports in general, tanking's been a thing.
Yeah,
So
it's
I
been
feel like-
a thing, but it hasn't been as much of a thing to the point where a lot of people are now trying to figure out how to get rid of it.
Yeah, isn't the NBA like adding more and more things to where teams can't quote unquote tank anymore?
Well,
they
next
did
season they're
something.
already changing the odds of the lottery so that it's more of it's more spread out throughout the rest of the lottery teams. I'm not exactly sure what the odds are, but it's more spread out. So it's more if you're getting like the 1, 2, or 3 odds, it's not as amazing as it would be right now. But I mean,
Speaking of draft odds, did you see what Ayton said?
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that confidence, but 2, you have to think that the Suns. I think the Suns probably just told him we're drafting you.
Yeah.
That has to be it, because that's a really ballsy statement. If you guys don't know,
dude.
I mean, yeah, but if you guys don't know what
he's
he's talking about, DeAndre Ayton quote said, let me find it.
I'm not working out with any other team. I worked out with the Suns.
Yeah.
I'm good.
DeAndre Ayton and I'm working out for other teams. No one else. I know I'm going number 1. So, I mean, he knows he's going number 1. It's not that you could read that statement 2 ways too. You could say like he's so confident in himself, or that the Suns just told him, "Hey, you're going number 1."
No, it's definitely
especially if he's
confident.
not working out for other teams. That has to be the Suns just told him we're taking you.
I think it's definitely the confidence thing, because I saw another quote too, like saying how he's quote setting the NBA's never seen a player like me, and he said quotes like
but
that.
he literally, that quote, the no one else, I know I'm going number 1, was at the Suns. Like, he was at the Suns press conference. Yeah. So unless he's setting himself up to be the biggest meme of the draft, you have to think crazy. That his agent got a promise, and they said, because that happens all the time. I mean, agents promise and just say, you know, we're taking this guy number one. So, but man, it's the Warriors.
All right, so let's transition into where we think LeBron is going. What does he got to do to compete with the Warriors?
All right, so let's lay out the options, right?
So I was thinking about this on my way home from Game 2. You know, after just that game was, I'm not gonna lie, it was boring to watch.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, LeBron is not staying. There's no way in hell. What does he need to stay for? He's got his chip in his city. He's done everything he can for the city of Cleveland. There's no reason.
They're not getting like Paul George or someone isn't.
Yeah, it doesn't. I wouldn't like just start fresh, please.
Quick side note. All right, where would you rank Kevin Love as a player in the NBA? Like just a ballpark number.
Ballpark. Dude, off the head, I would say
he's their number 2 guy, and he's supposed to be the number 2 guy on a championship contender.
It's crazy because he's been inconsistent, but I feel like
incredibly inconsistent, like with these finals.
I mean, ballpark, no brainer. I think top 50.
Top 50? Of course he's top 50, but that's the disrespect, though. Exactly. It's not even disrespect. Like. That was disrespect, but and just in general though, it's
I mean, no brainer top 50. I'm not gonna say he's like top 20 because I could name 20 players.
That's what I'm saying. And LeBron, you can't blame LeBron right now. He doesn't even have a top 20 guy. I don't know how the Cavs managed to do this.
I can tell you the Warriors got top 20, four players in the top 20.
Exactly. Like, would you rather have Draymond or Kevin Love? And I'd rather have Draymond. Would I rather have Clay or Kevin Love? And I'd rather have Clay. This is the finals we're watching. Somehow the Warriors have 4 guys I'd rather have than the number 2 guy with 2 MVPs on their team.
Yeah. Hey, man. But
2 MVPs, arguably, not even arguably, like top 5 shooter of all time in Klay Thompson, and a defensive player of the year. It's amazing. And Andre Iguodala, just casually.
You know, finals MVP.
Like, one of the greatest role players in the NBA today. Would start on almost any team.
Whoa.
He'd start on a lot of teams.
He'd start on
a lot of teams.
He would, but like his... I don't think
he would start on the Cavs?
The best. See, the thing is, he can start, but like, I just don't think the way he plays...
He'd be taking Jeff Green's minutes.
Yeah, he would start, but that's the Cavaliers. They're not
that's the Cavaliers, the team the NBA has in the finals right now. It is ridiculous what we're watching. Ridiculous.
Well, all right.
That's their 5th guy.
So
who is Cleveland's 3rd guy? It just changes every night. You have no idea. Some nights, Tristan Thompson actually wakes up and remembers he isn't only on a reality show and should be in an NBA court. Sometimes George Hill remembers that $20 million a year means you're supposed to play a little basketball.
He's getting $20 million right now?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Sometimes Kyle Korver can't really blame him. I mean, he's going to have his days. He's going to have his off days. He's 37.
Dude, he's awful.
JR depends how many bowls he smokes before the game. If it's over under 7, maybe he'll be able to contribute.
I'd say realistically, like I think we got to give it to JR as the 3rd, right?
I mean, if
as
that's
far as
your
like
3rd,
the whole season right now.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Yeah. But that's where they're at. I mean, that's why I'm just like, dude, what? Everyone's saying like the Cavs aren't that bad. Like, say it out loud. Who they have and who their third best player.
They're filled with. There is no 3rd best player. I'm just gonna say no one. I'm gonna say LeBron is 1 through 5, Kevin Love 6, and then no one. It's it's ridiculous.
Just look at the stat category leaders.
What happened to George Hill? George Hill's 31. George Hill's 2 years younger than LeBron. When he was on the Pacers, he was doing work against the Heat.
Yeah.
Did he just not practice? Is that what happened?
I really think I'm starting to believe that LeBron's pressure really, really gets to players these days.
We talked about that. Like that.
The greater he gets,
last time,
the harder it is to work around because you don't want to.
I think you're afraid to let him down.
Yeah.
I really think that's a thing. And I'm still not confident that Kevin Love is not afraid to let him down.
To let him like personally LeBron down, but just like look bad around LeBron,
Yeah.
Like I think just your
because everyone's gonna blame you.
Yeah, because
and that must suck.
Yeah. And like that sucks for LeBron too because he's just doing his thing. Like
because no one's saying right now, no one's saying, LeBron, hey, you're choking, you're selling right now, you suck. No one's saying that. And we're not saying that. All anyone's talking about is Kevin Love is not a number 2 option on a championship team, and that's obvious. And that the role players are just the most inconsistent players in the world. Meanwhile, the Warriors role players step up every single game.
They do.
Different
That's
guys,
why they're a
too.
great team.
JaVale's out here just throwing down dunk after dunk.
And I think that comes down to coaching, man. When you got guys
absolutely.
that aren't necessarily as talented as the next guy, but they're out there showing and, being efficient on the court, that is all comes down to the system. That's why I got to transition. Into
all right, I'm waiting. All
right. I think the next team for LeBron is the San Antonio Spurs.
I mean, I'd love it.
And here's why. Because, LeBron's recently stated that he wants to, like, at the end of his career, when the peak starts to go down, all right, it's still going up. He's going to be, he wants to be a spot-up shooter, right? Did you heard that? You saw that quote when he's talking about that?
Yeah.
And I think
way easier said than done. We'll see.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But that requires a good system, right? And a well-coached team, I feel like, because he can't do that on the Cavs. They already stand around like somebody's got to move.
He's not staying with Cavs. We don't even need to talk about that. That's just not happening.
So I'm thinking, you get Coach Pop, and he could literally take anybody. He could grab people, in another country to say, hey, come play for my team. He'll get them doing what they need to do. He'll put LeBron in the right spots, have him open probably every play, and then it's just clockwork. Basically, like they're doing. Think of the team right now, and then like the pace LeBron is playing. Like sometimes I watch him, and it actually triggers me how he plays. Like he always has his back to the basket, and then he just does this little post up, just dribbles out the clock, and it confuses me at times. Like, what the fuck kind of offense is this shit? Just imagine if they're running an actual set and people are just standing around.
It's a semi Russell Westbrook offense.
Yeah, it is. And I'm just and that's literally just coaching. You can't sit there and tell me it's all LeBron. He chooses, like, at the end of the day, yeah, he chooses to do that. But if a good coach isn't going to just allow that. And then, also, he's not going to allow his players to just stand around. Do some cuts. Get open. Like, do something.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's where the Spurs excel, and they're always moving. And even the Warriors. That's why they're open all the time. Clay gets easy points. And
Steve Kerr has the ultimate respect of them all. And, Steve Kerr arguably is, he's probably the most underrated coach in the NBA, I feel like, because everyone just says, he's got all the talent. Well, look at how they play still. Look at how everyone steps up. Look at the effort they're giving at all times. They coast. People were complaining that they were coasting at times during the regular season, and because Steve Kerr was like, I don't want anyone injured. Yeah, it's just obvious,
dude.
When the NBA finals come, we're gonna play.
Also, think of this, right? Who's gonna be a free agent this year, right? Or this summer?
Paul George, DeMarcus.
Isn't Chris Paul?
Chris Paul also.
Chris Paul, Kawhi.
I'm not signing Chris Paul.
You're not signing Chris Paul with LeBron and Kawhi.
How much money are you paying him?
Okay, see,
Mike Conley right now is making $40 million.
Okay, so that's where Chris Paul's got to chill the fuck out. Chris Paul said he wants to.
Is he gonna?
Didn't he say to stay with the Rockets they got to pay him max?
So I'm saying Chris Paul is 33. Okay.
Okay.
So
but if
he's
LeBron
gonna want hits.
if he can convince Chris Paul, like, hey man, you want to win, take a little cut, and let's get these rings. All right. Imagine, and if they somehow could get a big, like LaMarcus, or I don't know who the Spurs got right now, but just that's all you need is Chris Paul, Kawhi, and LeBron.
Chris Paul could have demanded a trade to the Cavaliers this year.
But why? Nobody wants to play in Cleveland.
I guess. I mean, but...
So you think Chris Paul wouldn't want to play in San Antonio with LeBron and Kawhi?
I'm not saying he wouldn't want to play. I'm just saying at that point, I don't even know. That's just salary. I mean, this isn't even what I was saying, but just salary cap-wise in general, I think that's impossible. I think it's actually impossible. Like,
okay,
all right, so to get LeBron, I've got this pulled up from Reddit. Shout out to Reddit.
Okay.
Even though they hate me. Whatever. Shout out to Reddit. So we've got how they would acquire LeBron. Sign and trade, where the Cavs would get Powell, Patty Mills, DeJounte Murray, Brian Forbes, and Derek White. So basically, I mean, that in itself isn't even the most realistic thing because you're getting DeJounte Murray, who looks pretty good young guy. But Pau Gasol and Patty Mills are both contracts you don't want.
Yeah.
I don't know if LeBron's pulling magic to be able to do that, but that's already hard. Other than that, how are you getting rid of all of the salary that you're already paying these guys?
Hey man,
Aldridge. I guess Aldridge.
Clear it out.
You move Aldridge.
Teams cleared it out. You saw what the who cleared all that cap space for somebody that didn't even come. Was it the Mavericks?
Yeah.
For
the Rockets did too. The Rockets.
Somebody cleared all their cap room, and then the
Rockets got rid of bunch of salaries for Chris Bosh. The Kings got rid of a bunch of salaries at one point, I think for like Rondo or something.
Mm-hmm.
And not Rondo. They got rid of it for somebody and didn't end up signing him. I mean it happens, but
so then
again, easier said than done.
Without the Spurs, then my next team would have to be Philly.
I would love LeBron on the Spurs with Kawhi. If Kawhi's healthy, you got Lamar.
Kawhi's healthy, man. I don't know why people are saying he's healthy.
That's true.
He clocked out.
That's true.
He's getting his max money.
But also it would be easier. I don't know. It's difficult, but it would. If LeBron says I want to go to the Spurs, let's figure this out, then it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. And hey, this could also help the LeBron haters out there in his legacy because he's moving on to the West.
I mean, there's two things to be said about the Spurs. One, is LeBron gonna be able to check his ego for a coach that's gonna tell him to, just you have to do what I say, because that hasn't happened in quite some time.
True.
And I don't know if you go back from that. I'm not sure if he can, but he's.
But does LeBron have like a crazy ego like that though?
I'm sure he has the most massive ego. He thinks he's better than Michael Jordan. Like what? How could you not have the craziest ego ever?
What is there to think that's just a fact?
All right, we'll talk about that in another podcast. Guys, we were actually going to talk about...
What?
That was supposed to be the topic of today's pod. Is LeBron... Who's better, LeBron or Michael Jordan? We'll talk about that next video. We will get into that next podcast. But regardless, all right. So number one, is he going to be able to check his ego for that kind of coach?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, would be great to see. I'd love to see it. Number two, I got so caught up in number one that I don't remember number two. So keep going.
I think Philly. I got Philly as a good team.
Philly is.
I still don't think
one of the easiest teams.
Yeah,
but I don't think he's going there. Unless Philly can somehow manage to get LeBron and Paul George. That's different because they have the salary cap.
They don't really need that though.
To beat the Warriors?
Well, sure, I guess, yeah.
I mean, Embiid's really good, but
I think Covington's a free agent.
If I'm LeBron, I'm horrified of Joel Embiid getting hurt.
Yeah.
He played one full season. Like, I don't want to say congrats sarcastically or anything and be like, but it's not like you can have the utmost.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Like signing with that team.
What if he signs there? What if he signs there for however long he's going to sign?
Yeah.
And also, if I'm LeBron, I'm signing a 1-year contract from now on. But I'm saying you could have me for 1 year. Michael Jordan started doing that on the Bulls. He started signing 1-year contracts every year.
Yeah.
If I'm LeBron, I'm doing that. I don't know what the Players Association would say about that because that sets a very dangerous precedent. But if I'm LeBron, I would try to do that at least.
I mean, I think you can at this point.
Also, Ben Simmons is a light version of LeBron.
Yeah, that's where I was like,
and it's not like
is it gonna work?
It's not a Dwayne Wade situation where you're playing with a former Finals MVP who is one of the top shooting guards of all time, already established, who has championship experience and has all this stuff. You're playing with a second-year player, and who just was given free reign of the offense, and now is going to have to adjust his game completely to LeBron, and he can't shoot. It's not a situation where Dwayne Wade, who's shooting like around 30% from three, but still has a mid-range game, still has a very good.
That's where LeBron can become the spot-up shooter. Ben Simmons kicks it out, bang.
And so LeBron's just giving the ball to Ben all next season and being like, "Here, take control."
I mean, he's trying to play.
I don't see how does that work as well.
Maybe not now, but hey, when he's trying to wait for his son to come in the league.
I feel like the Sixers are. If I were ranking.
So where
most realistic scenarios, I would not. I'd say the Sixers.
All right, without going into
I
details.
think Paul George should go to the Sixers. I think Paul George should go there. Perfect fit. He would just fill in for Robert Covington, and is just a way better version of Robert Covington.
Yeah.
And so the Sixers don't miss a beat. They just add a star player at a position that they already have a similar player at, just worse. That's if I was a Sixers fan, that's what I'd want.
So, all right, right here, top 3 teams that you think LeBron makes sense for LeBron to go to without explanation.
All right, so
go.
I mean, again, if I was ranking them in like what the possibility that LeBron would go to, maybe the Sixers are in there. But if I'm ranking them in where LeBron should go, I would rank number 1 Lakers in a situation that becomes like the Miami Heat again. Mm-hmm. A situation where suddenly it's LeBron, PG, and DeMarcus, and
Lonzo.
or they flip they've got a bunch of young guys. They've got Lonzo, they've got Kuzma, they've got Brandon Ingram. They've got a bunch of young guys that they can make trades with. So they have the trade assets to make things work. So you could add LeBron and PG and then trade for a big man. There's things you could do there. So I think if LeBron could potentially mold an entire team that is suddenly a championship contender. And I just remembered my second point. My second point is LeBron going to want to go to the West at all? Because this championship streak that he has of going to the finals is a big part of his legacy. Is he going to want to possibly give that up and play against a team like the Rockets or the Warriors? He might have to play against the Rockets in the second round.
Yeah.
And then the Warriors right after that. So
but Rockets aren't going to be anything crazy without Chris Paul.
I mean, the Rockets are going to keep Chris Paul.
Are they?
Where else is he going to go? I think they'll keep Chris Paul. If you're the Rockets, it just looked like you had a solid chance to beat the Warriors. I'd run it back. I would run it back. But anyway,
but dude,
number 1.
Also, Clint Capella's going to be, asking.
No, they could re-sign everyone. They'd be fine.
Really? All the money?
Yeah, they're gonna have to pay, but they'll be fine.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they had cap room for that.
No, I mean, they could get LeBron, but if they would have to get
LeBron.
No,
they do, dude. I read that they.
To get
chance.
LeBron, they'd have to be able to trade Ryan Anderson, which I don't know where they're trading him. A lot of picks would have to be involved. They'd have to trade Eric Gordon, and then they would not be able to sign Clint Capella. Yeah. So that's the thing with the Rockets. Suddenly, you have Chris Paul and you have James Harden, and you have LeBron, but Clint Capella was such a massive part of that team. Who fills that role? Mm-hmm. And now you have 3 completely ball-dominant guys throughout their entire careers. I mean, Chris Paul and James Harden made it work, but 3 of them?
Nope.
Especially with LeBron being alpha dog number 1 and going to James Harden, who is going to win the MVP, going to his city and being like, all right, give me the ball. I don't know. The Rockets, I guess, are in the top 3 too. For, I guess, most realistic or whatever. Be very interesting to see what they could do. They'd need to get a big man, obviously. The thing is, the craziest part about all of this is that it's not obvious where he should go. So that's why I think something like a Lakers situation, or maybe not even the Lakers, maybe another team, a team with young assets, maybe LeBron and 2 other guys, team up and form their own big 3 for the next few years again. I could see that happening. I also would be so interested to see what happens if LeBron goes to the New Orleans Pelicans. I would love that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, apparently,
I don't think that's a good
The only way that could happen is if they traded away with the way the contracts. Drew Holiday would have to go.
Dude, LeBron can't go to the Pelicans. After going to a Pelicans game, they don't deserve him.
And he's just not good. The New Orleans, who wants to go there?
Yeah, that's a terrible market. No.
So, I mean, me talking through all of this, the Rockets would have to not have Clint Capella on their roster anymore. So that's scary. And is LeBron looking at Chris Paul, who keeps getting injured in the playoffs also? Is LeBron looking at CP3 and Harden and Harden, who has not risen up to the occasion, is he looking at those 2 guys and saying, this team's getting me over the top? I don't really think so. Is he looking at the Sixers, who are young and not proven, with another guy who gets hurt all the time and was on a minute restriction this entire year, basically? I don't think that happens. Mm-hmm. I guess. I mean, again, unless they're able to add someone like PG, or if they trade for someone, you got Saric, you have young guys that you can make trades with to get someone else. So that would be a possibility I would see with the Sixers if they did. The Cavs, LeBron wasn't going back to the Cavs unless they were able to trade Andrew Wiggins for Kevin Love. That's why he went. He wouldn't have gone if it was just Kyrie. Yeah. And so there's that. I mean, Spurs, again, is he going to be able to play with Pop? Not sure. And I mean,
I think we got to roll to the Twitters.
Okay, guys. So that's our conversation on where LeBron might go and the whole NBA Finals and the sadness that it brings me. I did ask you guys on Twitter at Mike Kors. What's your Twitter? Plug it.
I am Chris London.
At I am Chris London. So I asked on Twitter, though, personally, I told you guys to DM me any problems you might be having, because I asked for questions before, and I kind of wanted questions like this, and no one was really giving me them. Everyone was just asking things like, how'd you start YouTube and stuff. So I want us to, advise the youth with our knowledge, whatever that might be, as 2 YouTubers.
Okay.
So, all right. So I've got one right here. I said I was going to keep this anonymous. You guys could actually email at c2cpodcast@gmail.com. Do that from now. c2cpodcast@gmail.com. Email me any problems like this. If you want to remain anonymous, just tell me in the email. We're going to keep all of these anonymous. So we've got, okay, bro. So I've been having this crush on this girl for the longest time. She just got out of a pretty bad relationship a couple months ago. Me and her have always been really close friends. One of her best friends told me that she knows that I like her, so now I'm stuck and don't know what to do. One of my friends told me to open up to her and tell her how I feel, but I'm afraid that she's not going to feel the same way. What should I do? What would you do?
So it's
also, guys, include ages. We need to. Ages are very.
Well, this sounds like high school.
It sounds like high school, but tell us ages in the future.
I mean, I think you're afraid of rejection, which everybody in their right mind is sometimes, most of the time, until you just, you get rejected enough. It's it's nothing. But I think you should just straight up just kind of like not necessarily say how you feel, but just show it. Because girls, unless she's just dumb, if you're showing that you actually...
Well, it says that it says one of her best friends.
Yeah.
So one of the girls, it's not even like his best friends, said that she knows that I like her.
Oh, okay. So if she
one
knows...
of his friends told me to open up to her. So 2 different friends here. Talk.
Okay, well, I mean, you don't really even gotta open up. If you guys are like, if she doesn't know you, and like you guys don't even converse, then that's another. It's gonna be a little more complicated. But if you guys are already cool, then I would just try to like hang out with her more. And when you are hanging out, just be more out there. Just be more open and see how she reacts. Also, if like you come on to her and she's kind of like giving you signs that she's not interested, take that into consideration and just say, hey, let's go out to eat, let's go on a date. If she rejects you, then that's when you move on. Just go on a date. If she says yes to the date, I don't care if it's it's just a movie, like a little small date, she is interested, dude, and you just gotta keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I'd even go further than that. I would say it feels like our boy has just, one girl in his mind right now.
Yeah.
Okay? And I don't think he's going to necessarily either move on unless he gets an answer here in a situation. So, yeah, I would just...
Well, the thing's kind of vague, though, because I don't know, like, if they've hung out or details. If you know her.
It says that, no, so me and her have always been really close and really good friends.
Oh, okay, then yeah. You just be like, take her out. Take her out on somewhere that isn't necessarily like a buddy.
You have to, what I would do is I would ask her on a one-on-one hangout. Anything. Go out, go grab some food. I always am not the biggest fan of movies for like a first date situation, just because I think you should be able to like do things like talk. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to the movies and then you're gonna feel pressure, you're gonna be sitting there like, should I be like holding her hand or something? I do not like the movies. My first date ever was at a movie. We could get into that on another podcast because we don't have time. But
the move is a movie and then some to eat after. That's.
I think even just ask her just something simple like just go get food, by yourself, and if she says yes to that, then I think she's interested too because she knows that you're into her. So, again, like you said, just ask her to do something. Just
it's all about your actions. If you're
but if she says no to that, then you got to take that as a sign where she's not into it, which is going to be tough because you're apparently friends with her.
Because, dude, think about it this way, bro. This is why you don't have to be, like, direct saying, hey, I'm into you. I like you. Do you like me? Because she already knows you do. So you saying, like, hey, let's go out. Just me and you. Let's go out. If she's, like, all open for that, then she's down.
She knows what you're doing. She knows you're, like, that you like her.
Yeah.
All right. I like these. Okay, let's find another one.
All right, guys. This is going to be our last tweet that we answer. Make sure you guys DM Mike so we can get more for the next episode. And if you guys want this to be like a longer segment in the podcast, just comment down below and we'll be sure to do that. Mostly we just go on and on about basketball. We like to ramble, but we could also ramble some advice. So
we could do more than 2 if you guys want, and we could do some shorter ones definitely.
Oh yeah,
depending on what you guys think. But these are good though because it's something that most people go through. So again, anonymous, we'll say, but this one starts with, I love you, Mike. Thanks. Been here since 20K. My ex-girlfriend broke up with me a month ago after 2 years of dating. I'm finally starting to get over it and realize it's not the end of the world. Any advice on how to stay positive when you're at your lowest of lows?
Have
you ever been dumped?
Yeah, I've been dumped, but honestly, I don't really count like my past relationships because they never really lasted longer than 2 months. So
Okay,
the
so
the relationship I'm in now, I consider like my actual first real relationship, and that's going really well. Uh,
all right.
but
So already, just kind of shitting on this kid. You're like, all right. So I understand that you were just dumped, but I'm in an amazing relationship.
well, no.
Anyway.
I wasn't shitting on it. I'm just saying like, you know, uh, let me
All
get all
right.
right.
Well,
You threw me off there. I wasn't trying to shit on you, dude. All right, so basically, we've all had our low points. I've had my low points. If you guys know my story, I've been in the shitter a lot. And a thing that helped me, I think this is the best advice, is try to do things that would cheer someone else up. Because when you do acts of like putting out to the world of like making someone smile, eventually like you're gonna smile too. And I feel like what you give put in, you get out as well. So I always just try to make jokes, be funny, be surround yourself, please, surround yourself with friends that are gonna lift you up
yes.
and make you
Yes.
laugh.
Definitely.
Because that's
And
the biggest
family.
thing. Yeah, family. It could just be one friend, dude. One friend, two friends. It doesn't matter. If you playing video games, and your online friends is what makes you happy, just get online. That's a thing now. Like before, we had to go outside, but now like I'm used to just all my friends pretty much I've met on the internet. So as weird as that sounds, that's the reality.
All right. Wait.
Uh,
Let me hop onto this while I remember. All
yeah.
right. Okay. So first of all, my name is Mike Korzemba. I have been dumped by an actual relationship
Uh-huh.
that was basically it was around like 10 months unofficially, like more like 8 or something officially. I don't know. It was in college. I was 20, and yeah, definitely at the end of I was like ruined by it at the time. If you ask any of my friends, it was bad.
Wait, dude. I gotta cut in, dude. I gotta cut
Yeah.
in. How? What do you mean by 10 months unofficial?
So, well, no. I mean, all right. So, like, I'm saying, we were hooking up for the first 2
Oh,
months.
okay.
We were
All right.
hooking up though, like exclusively.
Okay.
Like since we started hooking up, we had never hooked up with another person.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it's just a great reminder of. I don't want to sound kind of. I don't know. Just don't get needy. Just don't get needy
Yeah.
in a relationship. The person that I became as the relationship went on was just not who I was to begin with, and I started, wanting more and more time with her, and then that just is only gonna push someone away. We weren't right for each other anyway. Regardless, this was years ago. Regardless, I was ruined at the time, and it really sucked. But what Chris said rings really true. With you got to surround yourself with your family and your friends. Because when you're with a girl, when you're dating a girl, a lot of times, especially in the beginning, you get really caught up, especially if it's your first girlfriend.
Oh,
you
yeah.
get really caught up in that girl is suddenly like your whole world, and suddenly you stop hanging out with your friends as much. You stop caring about talking with them as much because you're all into this girl, which is not healthy. It's great to.
It's definitely normal, though. It's definitely normal.
It's definitely normal. It's definitely normal. And when you come out of that, though, you'll see that girl can become your best friend in that time period, but also she can go away. She is someone that one day she's your best friend, and one day she's your girlfriend, and one day you guys are saying you love each other, and you talk all the time on the phone, and you text every single day, and then suddenly things go wrong, and that person is just not there at all. And never will be there again.
Yeah.
And that's just a huge reminder that the people that are there for you are your family and your boys. Because those guys are going to be there for you when all of this happens. And those guys aren't going away unless something, really dramatic happens where, I don't know, your friend screws you over or something. But regardless, I mean, most of the time, your close friends are going to be your close friends for a long time.
Yeah.
And yeah, hang out with your friends. I'm sure you're going to talk about her if they're good friends, they'll listen and they'll just, you know, let you talk it out. And also, just, yeah, don't become a loner and do the things that you like. Don't change what you're doing in your life, like what your routine was, what your goals are, everything, because of her. Try to just continue living your life. Try to just
better yourself, really.
Yeah, and better yourself. Exactly. You know, focus on individual goals and just focus on having fun with the people that you care about. And you're not going to get over her right away.
Yeah.
You just said that just after a month you realize it's not the end of the world. I'm sure you still think about her. I'm sure it still sucks and it still
That's
hurts.
where you know, go out to little parties. Just socialize.
If you're at
like
that point,
I feel like if you're social with females, also it helps you kind of forget the last female.
Definitely. That's especially. I mean,
even if it's like
it might take some time to get to that, especially if it's been 2 years.
It fills the void, dude. It fills the void.
Once you feel you're at that stage, you know, do it, man. Put yourself out there again, because once you start talking to new girls, I mean, there's just like, you feel like, oh, you and this girl might have had this special connection, and she liked all of these things that you liked, and like she was like so cool in this way. But then you realize when you talk to new girls and when you know, have new relationships that, you know, every girl brings something different to the table, and there's cool things about a ton of other girls, and you will find someone different.
Yep.
So you're going to make it, man. Trust me. All right, let's wrap up quick because my camera battery is dying. This has been the Coast to Coast podcast. I am Mike Corzemba.
I'm Christopher London.
All right. All of our social medias have been popping up on the screen, including our YouTube channel. So if you want, follow those, subscribe to our individual YouTube channels. This podcast is also on YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud. Wherever you're listening, subscribe. If you're on iTunes,
and thank you for listening, guys. We really appreciate it.
I was getting there. But I'm just saying, subscribe, you know, if you're on iTunes, to get notifications for that, and leave a nice comment if you'd like. If you're on YouTube, subscribe so that you don't miss our videos, especially because our posting has been very inconsistent. And thank you so much for listening. If you're still here, what do you want them to say?
If you're still here, make sure you comment down below.
Cupcake.
There it is.
Shout out to KD.
All right, guys. Peace.